Hello everyone, it's Becca from Becca Books and Bujo, and today I am sharing all of the romance and chick lit books on my physical TBR. So this is, I think, the fourth video I have filmed in this series. I've done classics, I've done book of the months, and I've done historical fiction. Today I am sharing the romance and chick lit books that I have on my TBR that I've yet to read, or on my shelves that I've yet to read. So we are going to, I've done Goodreads rating, I've done chronological order, I just did random for classics, and for this video, I am going to do the books that I am least excited for to the ones I'm most excited for. And we will just jump right in with the first one, which is The Light We Lost by Jill Santopolo. I don't know if that's how you say it. This one follows the 13-year relationship of a man and a woman who meet in their senior year at Columbia University. Their paths take them in separate directions to different continents, but they always end up finding each other again. And it sounds like it might be fate, it might be choice, but we will find out. And it is obviously a romance. It got Reese Witherspoon's book club pick, which I don't know. And it says The Epic Love Story from Redbook. 2 lives, 2 choices, or 2 lives, 2 loves, 1 choice. We'll see. I don't know. It doesn't sound like super exciting or thrilling. And so that's why I have it as the one I least want to read right away. The next 2 I have are The Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood and Yayas in Bloom by Rebecca Wells. This is the first in the series, and then this is the third. I'm missing the second one. I think the second one's called Little Altars Everywhere, and I don't have that, so I don't know if I would read it. It'll depend on if I like the first one, and then we'll see if I keep the third one. But this one sounds like it is about a woman named Siddeley Walker, who is a playwright, I believe, or a director. And after one of her plays makes it big, she is being interviewed. And in their interview, she describes her mother as a tap dancing child abuser. And so then her mother gets very upset, basically disowns her, and her mother is a famous member of the Yaya sisterhood, which I guess is famous in the South. The daughter, Siddeley, begs for forgiveness, but her mother's like, no way. So then the Yayas intervene, this sisterhood, and they send Siddeley a book called The Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood, where Siddeley learns more about her mother and her past. So then obviously the Yayas in Bloom is just a continuation of this story. I don't know. I think my mom read this one and really, really loved it, but it just doesn't sound super exciting. And like when I read a romance or chick lit book, I want it to just really suck me in, and I'm not sure if this story would. So we will see. The next one is Remember Me by Sophie Kinsella, and I have read other Sophie Kinsella. I'm not sure exactly which, and I think there's even more in this stack. This one sounds like one I've read before. A woman wakes up after a car accident and doesn't remember the last 3 years of her life. It sounds like she is very well off. She has a Louis Vuitton handbag. Her teeth are perfect. Her body is toned, but she doesn't remember any of it. And so we follow along as she tries to put the pieces together in the puzzle that she has missed the last 3 years of her life. This one just sounds a lot like ones I've read before, and so I'm not sure if I would enjoy it. Moving on to Angry Housewives Eating Bonbons by Lorna Landvik. This is an author that my mom loves, and so I have this book on my shelves. This one sounds like it is about a group of women in a book club reading group, and it follows their 40-year friendship relationship. It sounds like each of these women has a hardship or a quirk or secret that they are keeping from the others, and so we get a look into their lives and how those things come up in their conversations. I do like books about reading clubs or reading groups, as I've recently found out reading the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. So maybe this one would be similar, but sounds just like, again, a really chick lit-y book. And I'm not so sure chick lit is my genre, but another chick lit that we have on here is The Three Miss Margarets by Louise Schaefer. This one sounds like a group of women in a small town in the South, and they have committed a crime. And they kind of were able to look past it back in the day, but now we are revisiting it 40 years later, 30 years later. 30 years later. The three women are all named Margaret, and it sounds like someone shows up in their town after 30 years post-crime and brings up a bunch of memories, and they are having to deal with it. So I don't know. It, again, doesn't sound super wonderful, and I've maybe heard a review on this one by Maddie from Books with Maddie, but it wasn't as good as she had hoped. So we'll see. There's that one. Now we are moving on to a couple Nicholas Sparks books, and I really loved Nicholas Sparks when I was in high school, and so I'm not sure if these will still stick like those ones did. A Walk to Remember, Safe Haven, The Last Song. Those were some really, really good ones. But I have two that I have not read. So I have The Guardian and The Rescue. The Guardian is about a woman whose husband dies, and 4 years after the fact, she is finally ready to put herself out there and start dating again, but she doesn't know who to date. And it sounds like a classic Nicholas Sparks where there is some sort of thrilling thing that happens toward the end, some deception, some secret, and we follow along for the ride. And then in The Rescue, again, it's about a woman and her son who get in a car accident, and it sounds like she completely blacks out and her son, who has autism, has disappeared. And so the local police officer or sheriff maybe helps her find her son, and then some romance happens between that woman and the police officer. This one sounds a little bit more exciting than The Guardian, but we'll see. Then we have All In by Simona Arnstedt. I'm just going to read the inside cover of this one because I can't even try to put into a concise little description of what this book sounds like. So it says, trust is the most precious commodity of all. In the cutthroat world of Sweden's financial elite, no one knows that better than corporate raider David Hammar. Ruthless, notorious, unstoppable. He's out to hijack the ultimate prize. Invest him. Doesn't say what this is, so I don't understand. After years of planning, all the players are in place. He needs just one member of the aristocratic owning family on his side, Natalia de la Grip. Elegant, brilliant, driven to succeed in a man's world, Natalia is curious about David's unexpected invitation to lunch. Everyone knows that he is rich, dangerous, unethical. She soon discovers he is also deeply scarred. The attraction between these two is impossible, but the long Swedish nights unfold an affair that will bring to light shocking secrets, forever alter a family, and force both Natalia and David to confront their innermost fears and desires. It sounds very intriguing. I'm interested to see. It sounds kind of like a mystery thriller element, but a romance, obviously. And this was a gift given to me by my husband for a birthday a few years ago. So I am really looking forward to this one. Moving up in the scale, we've got one of my favorite romance authors, Jojo Moyes. This is 1+1. This is an opposites attract love story. We have a woman named Jess, and it sounds like her life is just kind of going to ruins. Her husband has disappeared, her teenage son is being bullied, and her math whiz daughter has a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to attend a camp of sorts, but she can't pay for it. So then a knight in shining armor comes to rescue them, and he is a geeky guy who she never thought she would end up with, but sounds like he kind of saves their lives and falls in love in the process. So I really have always loved Jojo Moyes' writing, and her stories really pull at the heartstrings, and so I am looking forward to this one. Then we've got some bookish books. We have The Reading Group by Elizabeth Noble. This says a real female bonding novel in the very best sense. It's witty and immediately engaging. This one, when I was reading about it, sounds very similar to the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society, which I just read. Not that the historical element is there, but just the fact about these people all love books and their lives are intertwined around their book club. So that sounds really exciting because I loved that book. I just read it in this month in July. So I won't review it until my July wrap up. But this one follows the trials and tribulations of a group of women who meet regularly to discuss books. Over the course of a year, these women's lives become intertwined, both through the books they read and the real life stresses that they have. It is a look at how we all face different paths in our lives and the power of friendship. I'm really looking forward to this one. And then another bookish book, we have The Bookshop of Second Chances by Jackie Fraser. I just hauled this pretty recently. This one is about a woman who is let go from her office job without any notice, and so she moves to Scotland because her distant uncle had passed away, and he has left her an antique book collection, and so she's going through it and basically finds an escape from her life that is going to shambles. And it sounds like there's a romance. I think it sounds really good and cute, and again, I love a book about books. So that's The Bookshop of Second Chances. We're down to 4 more books. Here's another Sophie Kinsella, so I knew I had one. This one is Can You Keep a Secret? So this one sounds like a woman is on an airplane and she spills all of these secrets that she keeps from most everyone in her life to this random stranger on a plane. Unbeknownst to her, it is the CEO of her company, and she sees him at a meeting and is like, oh my goodness, you need to keep these secrets. Plus, I think then romance ensues. I think this one sounds really good. Probably maybe predictable, but sometimes I like that in a romance book. Okay, then these two go together because it is, I think, just a duology. I don't think there are any more in the series, but this is by Emily Giffen. It is Something Borrowed and Something Blue. So this one, if I remember correctly, is about, oh my goodness, Jim. Not Jim, but Jim from The Office is on this book. Anyway, this one tells the story of a young woman named Rachel and her best friend Darcy. Rachel is kind of always this clean-cut woman, likes to follow the rules, and Darcy is more of the fun-loving friend. So on Rachel's birthday, Darcy throws her a big birthday party, and Rachel ends up sleeping with Darcy's fiance. Well, you might think it was just a one-night fling. There are feelings that are involved, and so she has to decide whether to keep her friendship with Darcy or to follow the feelings that she has with Darcy's fiance before the wedding, because that is obviously coming up. And then I think Something Blue looks more into Darcy's side of the story. So I'm really looking forward to these ones. These were at the top of the list before I realized I had one more book on here that I had just hauled, and that is One Day in December by Josie Silver. This is about a woman who experiences a love at first sight moment through a bus window. She tries to get off the bus to see this man and disappears. And so she spends a whole year thinking about this amazing eye contact she had with this man, and then he shows up at a Christmas party dating her friend. So we follow her and her friend's boyfriend and their relationship over 10 years or so, and I have heard good things about this one, and I am excited to read it in the winter months to kind of get the vibes of December. And because I've heard so much about it, I am putting it to the top of my list. And this is interesting because on the cover of this, it's blurbed. It says, Josie Silver writes, with a warmth so palpable, her characters sneak their way into your heart and stay for a long time. And it's blurbed by Jill Santopolo, who wrote The Light We Lost, which is my most exciting, the one I'm least looking forward to in this stack of 15 books. So that's really interesting. Maybe this one should move up on the list if she liked this one. Anyway, doesn't matter. So please comment down below which of these romance or chick lit books I should prioritize. I, again, am going to try to put a prompt in my deck of TBR game that allows for a viewer's choice in each of the genres on my shelf. And so I'd love some input from you on which of these books I should prioritize and look forward to the most. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you like the content I have and want to see more from me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.